YouTube, this is Joe from Zephyr Wargames, and I'm bringing to you guys my Dino Fossil deck profile. And so, this is obviously goes from the past two, where we got the brand new fossil support for the deck. And I am personally really struggling to find a deck and variant that I really enjoy, and I just want to stick with it. So far, this is the best one for me personally, but I've tried out both this variant and Adamantipator Fossil, and as well as probably another variant, but I don't really like the randomness and the luck ability of Adamantipator Fossil. I'm waiting to actually get some Doki Dokis off my friend who I strangely enough have no more copies of, just to try a more pure rock non-Adamantipator luck variant of it. Just because I really want to utilize and abuse Flint Cragger, but you have to special summon Flint Cragger, it's a brand new guy, to get his effect off. And the best ways to do it are either Adamantipator's or with Doki Doki. Doki Doki being more literal direct, you ditch level 3 to summon it. So I've just gone stuck with the Dino variant. It just fits very well, it fits thematically as well, and as well just plays naturally nicely. The dinos set up your fossil fusion very well, so you literally just have to open up fossil fusion to get it going. I'll show you a 3-card combo at the end as well, which gives you a pretty strong board going first, as well as setting up your fossil fusion as well. But yes, before I get into all of that, if you enjoyed, give us a like and subscribe down below. Ding that notification bell, because obviously if you enjoy a person's content here on YouTube, you don't want to miss out on that content, and that notification bell helps prevent that. All of that is greatly appreciated, and thank you guys so much for doing so. So with all that said and done, let's get into this Dino Fossil deck. Starting off with the fossil monsters, I'm only playing one of the brand new Shell Knight. Again, it does suck that I'm only playing like one of the brand new cards in terms of the main deck, but they only got two, and in terms of this variant, Shell Knight is like the best one you can actually play. So it's a level 4 rock with 0 attack, 2000 defense. When this card is normal summon, you can change it to defense position, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. If this card is destroyed by battle or sent to the grave by card effect, you can add a level 8 rock from your deck to your hand, or if fossil fusion is in your graveyard, you can special summon it instead. For the rest of this turn, you cannot activate cards or effects with the same name as that card. You can use one Shell Knight effect once per turn. So you're only using it for its add/summon level 8 rock, with your only target being Gaia Plate. The Earth Giant, it's the only good one since Block Dragon's banned, that we can actually utilize very well. It has its own summoning condition, so you can easily get it on board as another beat stick, but you're ideally just summoning it off Shell Knight as either a free extender or just to go punch for game. For your other fossils, we're playing 2 copies of Weathering Soldier. It's Weathering Soldier, you play it. You don't really need to play 3 copies of it anymore, no matter what variant you're playing. And if you're playing the more rock variant, focus variant, Flint Cragger just does what Weathering Soldier does, but a lot better, because it uses the fusion monsters from the extra deck to get your searches. And so Weathering Soldier, it's a must, but it's not a must at 3. Last of the rock monsters we're playing is Nemesis Keystone. This is the one you're going to be using and abusing with Fossil Fusion, getting you a constant resource back to your hand for your summon plays, and as well as just going straight to the graveyard for your Fossil Fusion plays. Moving on to the Dino part of the deck, we're playing 3 copies of Soul Eating Oviraptor, 3 copies of Baby Ceratosaurus, 1 Petite Pterodon, 2 copies of Animador Archosaur, 1 Miscellaneousaurus, 1 Giant Rex, and 2 Old UCT. Pretty much self-explanatory. If you know what dinos do, if you know how dinos play, all of these dino ratios are pretty much self-explanatory. Animador balances between 2 and 1s, depending on what kind of player you are. I like 2 just because him plus a baby is my play, as well as Soul Eating Oviraptor, plus I believe a baby as well. So that's it for the dinos. Moving on to the last part of the monsters is just 3 Nibiru. Nibiru in fossils is like the best deck to just main deck it in, just because It's not only a rock for a high level rock for all your fossil fusion plays, but because fossils primarily do like to go second in this deck, the dinos go first and the fossils go second. Nibiru just fits very nicely in the fossil play, just naturally. That's it for the main deck. Moving on, for monsters, moving on to main deck spells. 2 fossil fusions, 1 time stream. A lot of players I see play 1 fossil fusion. I agree and I don't agree. I agree that it's highly searchable and it can recur itself, so having just the 1 copy is just fine. But me personally, I like to have the 2nd copy in deck to search and grab it, just in case they don't trigger my fossil fusion engrave to recur itself. 1 time stream is just, yeah, 1 time stream. 3 copies of Miracle Rupture because we're playing rocks. 3 copies of Fossil Dig, ironically. It's a fossil spell, but it's for only dinos. I really wish that it said add a dino or rock monster. Like, it would have been so good. 1 Foolish Burial. 1 double Evo Peel. That's it for like the rotor / cards you search. And then for just disruptional going second stuff, we have 3 Forbidden Chalice and 3 Regeki, clear boards, negate monster effects, you name it. And 1 Call by the Grave just to help you go first. To round up the main deck is my own spicy personal tech that I always play in fossils, and that is Ojama Duo. This could also be Trio if you wanted to. But I just like this kind of like trap card that just puts weak monsters on your opponent's board, just so I can slam it with my fossil fusions and just deal a bunch more damage, because the fossil fusions can attack multiple times so long as your opponent has monsters. Especially with the brand new 1 Skull Convoy, who can attack 3 times, and there's a way to give him piercing, so, and every time you kill something burns for 1000 damage. So if you kill the Gyros, you're doing piercing, you're doing burn damage with the Gyro, as well as the 1000k from the convoy. You're doing a lot of damage, just forcing more attacks on your opponent. That's it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. For the big boy fusions, 1 Skull Gios, 1 Skull King, and 1 Skull Convoy. So the Skull Convoy is the brand new one. Just takes a rock and 1 level 7 or higher fusion monster, just as similar as Skull King. It can be from your graveyard. Has 2100 attack and 18 defense. Must first be a fusion summon with Fossil Fusion. While you control this fusion summon card, all monster opponent controls lose attack equal to their defense, original defense, and this card can make up to 3 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. And when it destroys opponent's monster by battle, you can inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. It was really good, especially for the Ojama Duo attack. It doesn't care where the monster goes. As long as it kills it, doesn't care where it went, it gets to burn your opponent. For the level 6s, we're playing 1 Skull Dragon and 1 Skull Knight. Skull Dragon is pretty much the same as Skull Knight, except that you can bash it from the graveyard to pop a back row instead. As well as Skull Dragon can also attack 2 times each battle phase, and if it destroys opponent's monster by battle, it inflicts 800 damage. For the level 4s, I'm only playing 2 of them, Skull Buggy and Skull Baron. I'm not playing the Skull Dragon just because, in all honesty, you could, but I find that without Flint Cragger, it's not really needed, because ideally it's best with Flint Cragger, because then you can search up Fossil Fusion. I mostly just use Skull Bone and Skull Buggy because these are the 2 fusions that let me use my graveyard. And Skull Buggy, if you don't know, can, if it kills a opponent's monster by battle, inflict 600 damage, but it's only got 1400, so unless you're killing an Ojama token, you're not really doing that. But you can bash it from your graveyard to add a monster from your deck to your hand that mentions Fossil Fusion. So you can add both your Shell Knight and your Revering Soldier. That's it with the fusions. Moving on to the links, we're playing 1 Apollosa, 1 Pentastag, 1 of the brand new Trap Black. I've really been waiting for this card, just because it's so gimmicky, but I really like its gimmick. It just takes 2 effect monsters, and you can target 1 monster you control this card points to each time it destroys a person's battle. This turn, you draw a card. Do it with your Fossil Fusions. You can draw like 2 cards each time. It's pretty good. And then 1 Link Kuribo, just as your level 1 tech. And then for the XDs, we're playing both of the Evil Swords, Dolka and Lagia. Then we're playing one number 60 Dugaris and one Gallant Granite. This gets you your fossil plays going, giving him both himself as a rock monster and searching ideally your Nemesis Keystone. And Dugaris doubling your fossil fusions is just game. That's it for the main deck. And extra deck. Let me just zoom out for a moment and quickly show you the 3-card combo in this deck that sets up a first turn board as well as your fossil fusion plays. So all you need is Oviraptor and a baby Stegosaurus. It can also be your Archosaur as well. Both do it just fine. And in any way to get access to fossil fusion, it could be fossil fusion itself. It could be Miracle Rupture as well. So you start off by just doing your normal dino things. Normal summon your Oviraptor. Oviraptor gets you your miscellaneous. You ditch your miscellaneous. Miscellaneous can then trigger engrave, banishing itself to special summon your Archosaur. Archosaur pops the baby and grabs you your double Evo pill. Baby goes off and summons out your Giant Rex. No, it summons out another baby. My bad. Oviraptor can then go off, popping the baby to get back the baby. Other baby, and then baby. Second baby goes off and gets you your... I literally just had him. There he is. I'm staring right at him. Then gets you your Giant Rex. You then overlay these two and go straight into your Gallant Granite. You can then trigger detaching Giant Rex. It has to be Giant Rex, just to get the full value of this play, which then gets you your... Where is he? There he is. Your Nemesis Keystone. You can then use your Keystone to shuffle back your miscellaneous from your banished pile to special summon itself out. You can then, if you want to, link off into Link Revo. It really doesn't matter. Because all you're just going to do is link all of them off and go straight into your Apollosa. So you have a full material Apollosa here. You can then play your double Evo Peel, banishing your Giant Rex and your Keystone, and summon out your UCT. From here, Giant Rex triggers and summons itself back to the field, and then you can play your Fossil Fusion. From here, you banish your Gallant Granite and your anything else in the graveyard. I'm just going to banish Baby Sarah. Doesn't really matter. You then get your Skull Bone, and then from here you just pass turn. From here, your Keystone then activates until it's banished, adds itself back to the hand. And then from here, it doesn't seem like you just accomplished much, but what you've accomplished is you've got your 4 Meteor Apollosa and a live UCT. You've got a Keystone floating around, which is very, very strong. And you have Fossil Fusion engraved, your Fossil Fusion monster on the field. What you can then do is do your negates with your Apollosa, but you can then trigger UCT, popping the Skull Bone to set your opponent's monsters for disruption. But since a monster, the Fossil Fusion, got destroyed by card effect, Fossil Fusion now adds itself back to the hand. From here, then you come onto your following turn. You draw your card, doesn't really matter what it is. You can then banish the Skull Bone, add yourself a time stream. You can then shuffle back one of your cards. Really doesn't matter. You can again shuffle back your Gallant Granite. Let's shuffle back Gallant Granite. Summon out your Nemesis Keystone. From here, you can then link these two off. Into your Pentastag. And from here, you can then go Fossil Fusion. You can then banish Keystone and Giant Rex once again. and summon out your Skull Buggy. This triggers Giant Rex to summon itself back to the field. And then you can go Time Stream on your Buggy. And then just level it up into either one Skull Knight or Skull Wagon. I would probably go with the Skull Wagon at this point for some reason. I say for some reason. Just putting on the basis that Skull Wagon, now thanks to Pentastag, Skull Wagon and Giant Rex are doing piercing battle damage, and Skull Wagon can attack twice, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. It's only 1700, but if you really wanted to get a big boy on the board, you could have just left Giant Rex on the field and used UCT as fusion material, because then you would be able to just keep your Time Stream, but then you would banish the Nemesis Keystone and Giant Rex and just jump straight into one of the big boys, directly, being either Skull Convoy or Skull King. This is where Skull Convoy is pretty good, because now, thanks to Pentastag, Skull Convoy is attacking 3 times, doing piercing battle damage, and inflicting 1000 points of damage per each monster. But yes, that's the deck profile and the 3-card combo for both first turn board and then second turn OTK. I hope you all enjoyed it. Leave your comments down below what you think of both this build and what you're doing with your own Fossil Fusion decks. I'd love to hear what other people are doing, just because Fossil Fusion is a lot of versatility in that card, and I would just like to see what other people are doing, just to give myself a bit more inspiration in definitely in terms of a more pure rock focused build. So as always guys, like, comment and subscribe. Till next time, as always, stay safe and of course, happy dueling.